Sally had a really solid performance in that final as well.
Yeah, two of the, well, and fair to say two of the standouts of today's competition as well. And when Honolulu gets hollow and starts barreling, both of those guys know what to do. But look at this heat. This is a great heat. Summer, knows this wave better than those guys do. Spends, as a young girl, has spent a lot of time here surfing. Oh, it's been incredible to go, watching her here last year where she really did not handle the pressure too well. She's bounced back great after that injury.
Courtney taking a bite.
Always tenacious and so deep, locked in, and travelling a good distance behind the curtain there. And Courtney seems so sure-footed. She's one surfer who I think if she locks into one of those bigger barrels is going to have no problems.
Utilizing priority.
Look at this one.
Carissa Moore on one of the bigger waves of the day, locks in, somehow hangs on as she comes into contact with that big falling lip, goes to that grab rail cutback, so solid, and unloads a bit more power down the line as well.
Wow, came straight out of that turn and got out of that tube and got to work with the turns. And she's able to pace. When you think about Carissa's small wave surfing, we're talking 1 to 3 foot beach breaks. It sometimes isn't quite snappy and fast and lively enough for those type of conditions. But when it opens up and allows her style to flourish, this is what we see. High line there. That was a very difficult tube to ride. There could have been a high line little pump to stay in it a little bit longer, but came down the low road through the lip and then into another couple of nice turns. So maximising every opportunity in position, so much easier to ride.
Well, something nice approaching the lineup at the moment. Sitting pretty deep. It's Courtney. She's going to lock into this one.
Ooh.
Deep in the barrel. She should find her way through. Just got tangled up in the lip and punched down through the bottom of the wave. It's all done this afternoon, Rosie.
Oh, I think you're going to have to pay a half price for one of these bombs come this afternoon. I think a lot of people are jonesing to get amongst it.
Wow, Courtney was just a couple of feet away, but set it up so well, was well positioned, just didn't hold a high enough line through that one. And behind her, Summer. Let's see if the local knowledge can pay off. She ducks out of that first section, up into the pocket. Nice jam there.
At the 24.5-minute mark.
And goes racing down the line, looking for some cover on the end section. Doesn't quite come out, but what an exceptional lineup, Rosie Hodge, we have to finish off the day.
Young lady is so talented, and to see the level of comfort at a home break like this is impressive. We've got her brother, Ocean Macedo, in the lineup, caddying for her, as well as, Micah Macron's obviously for Carissa, and then Matt Kinoshido is caddying for Courtney Conlogue. So a great peanut gallery out here at the moment.
We've seen some amazing tube riding for a long period of time, but it just seems like it has evolved so much in the last decade. As we see Carissa setting up, just a nice pocket ride to kick this one off, has some size in these turns, big swoop off the top, so much grace in that first turn. Another stylish arc off the top. She's going to get a clean finish as well. So a 7.43 on a first wave. That one might not go as high, but it was still great surfing.
Here we go. Drops in, gets that early turn to try and get this tube. Stalls in the pocket. Sees it's not really going to open up. And goes down beautiful. There's that beautiful arc that we see from Carissa all the time out of the top. Here it is again. Beautiful carving turn. And I like the way she kind of cut that third turn. It meant that the last turn wasn't too critical. It was really well managed.
And now we've got Courtney up. Again, she's looking so amped. She's had her eye on the tube, but this time opting to go to turn. She's let go of some great moves already on this one.
And good to see that adaptation. Sorry, Ronnie.
And has to remember, too, that she's not necessarily surfing for the victory here. She can really lock up a place in the quarterfinals with a strong result. Nobody wants to fall out of the mix with a big finals day anticipated in pumping surf.
Start catching 100 waves out there in your heat. So we look at this replay. This first snap was sort of just a check turn in the pocket. This one, she gives it a lot more, drives the tail, pushes onto that front foot and releases the tail that little bit. Nice carving turn there into the pocket. And all really looking for the 9s and the 10s with the tube, but the surfing on the wave face is going to be enough.
She had some fragile moments in this final event last year. So Courtney, she dropped a 5.77 on her last ride. She's really narrowed that requirement. And it's Carissa taking off on the outside, comfortable in the tube, fading back, looking to set up more, ducks back into the pit. and finds her way out onto the open face now. Here comes the power.
Carissa Moore in the red jersey now starting to
Solid finish after threading a couple of barrels there.
Well, we talked about the opportunities when you're in second and third priority to hunt and find some of those inside tubing waves, and that's exactly what Carissa just did then. She just was, you know, that was such a beautiful wave. I dare say she's going to improve on that high six, the 693. It's that one, the layback snap was beautiful. The first tube was great, and she looks like she's having a ball. Oh, look at this one. See, it's not a priority wave. It's not a wave you would go with priority. But she just slides in, positions herself beautifully. Just stands there tall. One of the greatest feelings in surfing. Fades it down, gets in the tube again. Little cover up on that one. Watch this turn, Blakey. Drives off the bottom, lays it in, just stomps it. And then goes, that's enough. I think that's a pretty good score without priority.
We often refer to as knifing your way in, you know, just basically putting the pressure on the fins to the point of release and just forcing yourself in there, as we see Courtney trying to get herself into a qualifying position for the quarters here. Strong turn there, back up into the pocket. She's going to have to eject though. Luckily doesn't get tangled up with that equipment on the ejection.
And the people around her, the higher rated, more regarded competitors are catching waves and surfing, and it just puts pressure on you. And you're sitting out the back and you're going, oh, do I go this one? Do I use my priority? Am I being too patient? And you start to wonder what your next move should be.
And having a look at it, it is the wild card. Summer Macedo dropping to the bottom. She might need a big number out of this one to get back in the second spot. Fading, hoping this thing bowls out. She attacks the lip. Great turn, rides over that foam ball. And the crowd absolutely eating it up here as the local looks to finish this one off in style. Another nice hit there.
14 minutes, 20.
Already has a 6-point ride, and this one's going to be right up there with it. So a solid performance under pressure here, just over 14 minutes to go.
Paddling, dropping in. And you could see this one was going to have that little double up section. She faded down thinking she might come around the corner into a tube, but it gave her time for a beautiful turn, and the barrel just wasn't coming. So she went, okay, I better hit it again. That second turn was nice. It didn't quite look as critical from this angle as it did from the other. Dropping down the inside, and while she got some nice work done here, she really isn't going to influence the score too much. That outside work was pretty good, and for an 18-year-old in this moment, in these ways, she is doing amazing.
And only because the talk of this all was so big, and so I would just get butterflies, but today I felt really calm and relaxed, and gosh, the waves are just so good. It's really hard to contain myself.
She goes.
So a medium-sized wave on the inside, maybe a little more conducive to some more high-performance kind of turns. She gets on the attack. Nice hit there. A lot of spray coming off the rail. Needs more. That's a better turn. Bringing the nose of the board right through that move.
Beautiful turn, and we're seeing the potential for her future, and there's no doubt that she will be on this tour one day as a fully fledged competitor and scaring maybe the weird part of the dream, but at the same time you're getting paid, and it's just a wonderful thing, and it's the best job you could have.
I don't know, I've had some pretty weird dreams. Here we go.
I don't doubt that.
Courtney is still hanging on to that second spot. The last wave came through for Summer at 4.87. Not enough. Courtney's got to head down, scrambling to get into a position to maybe pick up second priority here. But meanwhile, Carissa just enjoying herself in this lineup. Really doesn't need to go this wave at this stage, but can't help herself. And thank God that she swung, because we're going to see some big turns laid down. Beautiful carve to get started. We'll see if this thing bottoms out on the inside. Love those swoops. Really gets that board redirected back into the pocket of the wave. This one's going to fade out.
Thank you to the locals for sharing it. Here's Courtney Conlogue.
So Courtney looking to shore up this second spot and guarantee a place in the quarterfinals. He's had a pretty solid pace throughout the heat so far. Since she started opting for turns, has looked really comfortable. Some solid moves on the outside. Doesn't get the big exciting finish that she wanted, but did a fair bit of work, was trying to get rid of a 5.77.
And it looks to me like she's gone to a little bit longer board, perhaps, when you see in the turns off the bottom in the turns. It looks like there's a little more rail there.
And really just a devastating finish to a strong heat for Summer, but she can hold her head high, really putting some solid scores up here in the third round.
That's what I was going to say. You know, making the third round of your first ever WCT event, is something you can be proud of. A lot of lessons learned, and a massive future ahead for this young lady.